Hey guys, welcome to the 7-Figure Box Show. My name is Andrew Frezza, and in today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about rethinking hybrid memberships. And I think there's no better time than now to rethink what it means to offer hybrid memberships at your gym. I know a lot of people are already doing this, a lot of people want to do this, or maybe are starting to think about this now as their bread and butter service, the group class or personal training, has been taken away from them, right? We've been forced in this situation where we have to find a way to continue to help our members even though we can't perform our core service, which is that in-person exercise component. And this is something that luckily for us at CrossFit Palm Beach, we started to think about this a couple months back. I recently shot an episode for the 7-Figure Box podcast talking about our favorite type of nutrition challenge. It was one that we ran back in the fall that had a point system, and it was focused on sleep and stress and hydration and all these other categories besides just nutrition. And it had a very small sort of nutrition and exercise component, even though it was positioned as a nutrition challenge. And the success of that challenge in terms of the amount of buy-in that we had from the members and the amount of people that still lost a significant amount of weight, even though we didn't overly focus on the nutrition component, it really opened my eyes. It became this light bulb moment for me to say, okay, how can we keep things this simple for people? How can we focus on this more well-rounded lifestyle component for people? And how can we maybe individualize it in a way that allows us to dive even deeper with people or customize these habits or these points towards what that person needs the most today? And we started after this last nutrition challenge that we did to kick off the year, we started actually doing an extension to that nutrition challenge where we were letting people do one-on-one accountability coaching. And a lot of the habits that we were keeping them accountable to were things that we were taking from the nutrition challenge that they either did really well with, or maybe they didn't do so well with, but they want to work on and improve. Or maybe it was something that was really overwhelming for them that we said, you know what, ditch this thing. Don't worry about this thing for now. Let's work on these 3, 4, 5 things for now, and then let's see where you go from here. And we started doing that a couple months ago, and now that we've had this shutdown with the coronavirus, it's actually been a seamless transition for us. I mean, as seamless as it could be. I know a lot of gyms are struggling to make this transition, but taking a lot of our members, and rather than trying to get them to pay for a gym membership, we've kept those memberships active and now are offering them one-on-one accountability coaching in lieu of their membership, right? We're also doing workout videos for them every day in SugarWOD. We're also keeping track of our committed club. We're loaning out equipment. There's more than just the one-on-one accountability coaching, but we're using that one-on-one accountability coaching to over-deliver value at this time and provide this sort of hybrid membership to people and attack their entire lifestyle and customize it to them. And we found it to be extremely successful at this point. I mean, we have almost 120 people that are taking advantage of this in some way, shape, or form right now, either doing some kind of nutrition coaching in HSN app, but the majority of those 120, about 100 of those people are doing some kind of accountability coaching through the True Coach app, which is a really cool way to customize those habits to people. It's mostly a programming app, but because it's such a simple framework to it, it's really easy to customize to any type of nutrition or lifestyle habits that you want to hold someone accountable to. And when we think about hybrid memberships, what I found in the past, I was first introduced to them from MadLab. And I think that tradition has kind of stuck in our industry, where hybrid memberships have always been focused mainly around the exercise component, right? It's usually been either individualized programming or personal training. So an example of a hybrid membership might be, hey, you're going to get you're going to get unlimited group classes each month, and you're going to get one personal training session each month. And that hybrid membership is going to run for $249 a month as opposed to, $159 or $169, which it would have been without the personal training session. And another way that people are doing it is individualized programming. Okay, so you're going to get access to the group classes, and then you're also going to get individualized modifications, individualized accessory work to supplement those group classes. Or you're going to be taken out of the group classes completely, and your membership is going to be individualized programming plus access to the gym, open gym hours, and maybe some group classes sprinkled in. But I think through MadLab and through sort of the history of things like OPEX as well, hybrid memberships have always been really about still the exercise component and really just evolving that group class experience to maybe more of a one-on-one exercise experience. And then recently, you've seen more of the nutrition stuff come in with companies like Working Against Gravity and HSN, and that additional component is becoming more broad. It's extending beyond exercise, but it's still very specific. So with a lot of those companies, it's become about macro tracking in MyFitnessPal, hitting certain numbers. And for some of those cases, it's not always about behavior change and habits, but it becomes about hitting and manipulating those calorie and macronutrient numbers in order to hit a goal. And what I'm talking about with the new way of looking at hybrid memberships is a broader view, right? First and foremost, it's a very outcome focused view, and taking an aerial view with this other person, this client, and saying, okay, what do you actually want to achieve? What are your goals beyond just weight loss, beyond just performance in the gym? And maybe you have one or two things from each category that you're trying to reach, but what is the broader goal you're trying to reach? Are you trying to become more confident? Do you want to live a long and healthy life? Do you want to be alive and not have a heart attack at age 50 and be alive for your kids or for your grandkids? Like, what is that broader why that you want to achieve? And then as their coach, how can I do everything within my power to set some action steps and habits and accountability to keep that person moving towards that why? So the first thing is starting with that outcome focused approach. From there, the second missing piece is accountability, right? Yes, there's accountability to programming workouts and having people to respond to those things, but when you have accountability of a daily or every other day type of check-in with someone, and it's beyond just workouts, and you're talking about routines and sleep and going for walks and spending time outside and what was their breakfast that day, when you have all these little dialed in benchmarks that you can check in with someone, there's a different level of accountability to it than simply just entering in your workout results for a given day. The other thing that we're talking about is a deeper one-on-one relationship. We want to be able to go deeper with our clients and not just manage our class membership as, hey, I have 300 members. They all seem to be doing well because they're not canceling their membership. But how can I actually dive in one-on-one with each person and have a real depth and understanding of what do they want to achieve, and are we on track to achieving that thing? And then the biggest thing is habits and behavior change. I see this as the best way to start to make those incremental improvements. If you guys want to learn more about habits and behavior change, some of the best resources out there, Precision Nutrition, number one. Obviously it's more nutrition focused, but it's really good just habits, behavior change type of resource. And then the book Atomic Habits and the book Compound Effect are two of my favorite books for starting to reframe the way you think about success, achievement, behavior change, and looking at those incremental improvements that you can work daily. Now is the perfect opportunity to implement this type of service, right? Not only is this type of service going to add value to what your current members are paying for, and I would encourage you guys to keep your members active, paying full price for their membership, and find a way to deliver the value that's equivalent to that. Rather than having different tiered memberships or not charging your members at all, I would just try to provide the requisite value to match up to it. Okay, we've had about 20 to 25% of our members going on hold, and it's a lot of people, but for those 70 to 75 to 80% of people that are choosing to stay with us, by still charging them the full rate, it's allowing us to be in a much better spot financially now and in the future. And it's forcing us to become creative about how we can still deliver those results. And I think delivering those results is going to happen through this type of hybrid membership type of situation. So when you guys are thinking about hybrid memberships, I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Number one is, how are we helping people achieve their outcomes without being able to perform the thing that we do best, either our in-person group classes or in-person personal training sessions? How can we, once we open the gym, continue to support these other 23 hours of a day? How can we find out, troubleshoot, test those things now, so when we do open the gym back up, we actually have better strategies and systems for helping people achieve their goals in the other 23 hours of the day that they're not with us? How can we showcase the value of some of these higher level services now, since people aren't getting the group class experience, we can do these things for free or for a small cost. How can we showcase the value of these services now, allow athletes to take advantage for little to no cost so that they want to take advantage and pay for these services later? So think about that, as this could be a good taste test for your members to see if these services are something that they want to do in the future. And if you guys do it right, if your coaches do it right, and you over deliver value over these next 4, 6, 8 weeks that I think we're still going to be closed or running a partial type of gym structure for, then a lot of these members are going to get addicted to having this accountability, having this service, and a lot of them are going to want to then pay extra for these services once you do get back open. And a big wake-up call for me as I've been thinking about this is, as I've seen a lot of our members go on hold and cancel, and it's seen our numbers sort of drop from a little over 500 members to high 300s, I'm starting to think to myself, like, do I even want to get back to 500 members? It's so many people that you can't know everybody by name. Even our coaches that coach more classes than I do, you can't know everybody by name. You can't have a deep relationship with everybody. And that's hard with 200 people, but once you get up to 500, it becomes really difficult. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, when I look at the future of our gym, do I even want a situation where we have that many people, or would I prefer to have 350, 400, 450 people that we have a deeper one-on-one connection with, that we really feel like we know what their goals are and we're doing everything within our power to help them achieve their goals? And looking forward, I lean towards a situation where we have less people, we're charging them more, but we're able to provide them a lot more in terms of reaching their goals and giving them the experience that they want and deserve each day. So if this idea resonates with you, I would highly recommend a couple podcast episodes that we've done recently. Number one, I would check out that Nutrition Challenge 7-Figure Box podcast. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it was probably from 5 to 10 episodes ago. That will give you guys the framework for how to tackle these different categories. The categories we're talking about is things like exercise and injury prevention. It's things like nutrition and hydration. It's things like mindset and stress management. It's things like recovery and sleep. And then it's the lifestyle components of, could be relationships, it could be work, it could be just their schedule. It could be anything related to outside of those other 4 categories that I talked about. Any of those things could be holding someone back. It could be even the way that person views money and investing in themselves that's really holding them back. All those things are tools at your disposal as a coach. You don't have to necessarily be an expert in all of those things, but a lot of times the answers are simple. The action steps are simple. What's not simple or what's not easy is following through. And that's where you come in as a coach, is providing accountability to narrowing it down to a simple action step and then holding that person accountable to actually following through with that action step. Other resources I want you to check out are our Living Superhuman Fitness podcast. So this is basically our CrossFit Palm Beach podcast for our members. We just shot 2 videos recently. Number one was a video about why you need a personal accountability coach. And the second one is how to keep making progress even while the gym is closed. And again, we shot this with our members in mind, but you guys as coaches and owners can still get a lot of value in it and seeing how we're communicating this to our members and being able to think about it in a different way and maybe reframe it to how it might fit into your gym. Okay, so hopefully this episode is helpful. I just wanted you guys to really grasp this idea of rethinking hybrid memberships beyond just personal training and personal programming, beyond just giving someone a set of macros, but how can we provide a more well-rounded coaching experience that keeps people accountable to their bigger why and their bigger goals. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out, Andrew@CrossFitPalmBeach.com, and we'll talk to you soon.